Hello and welcome back to another one of my FPL videos. I of course am the FPL Train, and in this video I'm going to be revealing my team selection ahead of Game Week 34, the double Game Week 34, and of course, like you've seen in the thumbnail, I have activated my free hit chip for this game week. Now obviously before I reveal all of that, let's look back on my misery, and I will say misery yet again because now I've gone 6 weeks having a red arrow. I'm having an absolute nightmare of a time right now. The only thing I can say about that is 6 red arrows in a row and I'm still in the top 160,000 in the world. I guess that's the only saving grace really, but yeah, again, absolute nightmare. Honestly, I can't believe it. So overall, I scored 66 points and it got me a red arrow. I've not checked to see what the safety score was, but I was about 125 before that. I've now gone back to 152, 240. So, absolute disaster yet again. Honestly, I can't believe it. So, let's go through the misery then. So, starting us off, the goalkeeping situation. I mean, to be fair, that one worked out an absolute treat there. I couldn't actually believe it. So, back to back now, clean sheets for Newcastle. I actually had Areola as my goalkeeper just because I did feel West Ham had a better chance. I thought, you never know, Areola might come back. So when I saw, obviously, the fact that the Brad got the clean sheet, I thought, no, my luck now. Areola starts when West Ham conceded a few goals. Thankfully, Areola wasn't fit, and I got the clean sheet for the Brad. So yeah, at least that started off all right. But then, my God, my defence is absolutely useless. Honestly, useless. So, I mean, bench options are never going to be great. Doherty got me nothing. Taylor got me 1 point, as always. Then my starting lineup. I can't believe the guy who went off injured after 14 minutes got the most points at the back. Unbelievable, that is. Absolutely unreal. So, Estupiñán went off injured. He did start the game week, which was, oh, wow, he's actually starting. But not like I had high hopes ever, but I thought, oh, he's got Burnley, he's starting, this could look good. No, that wasn't the case. It went off after 14 minutes, and instead of me getting a load of points from him, I got a 1-pointer. And to be fair, he's been an absolute shocking decision to bring in ever since he came back. I thought how good of a start he had at the start of the season. He's come back, he's fit, that's it now, he's going to kick on. And no, he's been in and out of the team, and now he's got injured. Absolute nightmare. But he's still got more points than Udogie, who got nothing, got absolutely battered by Spurs 4-0, so he got nothing. And Gabriel also got me nothing. They got beat 2-0 to Aston Villa, and he got himself a yellow card. So, absolutely useless defenders there. My midfield, I mean, I've got Oscar Bob here, so he was my first of my 2 transfers that I've got. Now, this one, it was just, I've got to say, I shouldn't be disappointed, but obviously, Kovacic scored for Man City and got 9 points, right? I looked at having Kovacic in my team, but I went with Oscar Bob just because I thought, well, Foden might not start, so Bob might start. So, you know what? I'm going to go for it. So I chose him ahead of Kovacic, and obviously Kovacic scored that goal, got bonus points, and ended up with 9 points overall. Oscar Bob didn't start, came on, and only got 1 point. So theoretically, I lost out 8 points there, which was absolutely gut-wrenching to see as well. Yet again, it's just, look, the reason why my team's called Peak Too Soon is because I peaked too soon. And yet again, it looks like it's happening again this season. So yeah, shocking there from Oscar Bob, but I weren't expecting too much. I think the fact that Kovacic scored is what's put salt in my wounds there. So that was disappointing. Mo Salah was shocking against Crystal Palace. We all thought Liverpool was going to win that game comfortably. They lost 1-0 and he absolutely stank the place up. Unlike, of course, Cole Palmer. Saving grace really there. Well, when I say saving grace, he makes my points look a lot better than they actually were. So he got four goals, which is unbelievable. 2 penalties, of course, against Everton. Absolutely destroyed Everton. 26 points overall. It's a shame, really, he weren't my captain. So you take those 26 points out of my 66. I only actually had 40 points beforehand. So Absolute unreal performance from him. And like I said a few weeks ago, or was it last week with the Phil Foden decision? Obviously, Phil Foden scored that hat-trick, but I replaced him, obviously, with Cole Palmer. Since I brought Cole Palmer in, he's scored 8 goals for me. So I've got to say that was the right decision, to be fair. So really happy with that 26-pointer. Unfortunately, Son was absolutely shocking against Newcastle. Only got the 1-pointer there for me. I mean, that was just, yeah, poor. Absolutely poor. Considering how much he costs, he's not exactly been setting the world alight either himself. So, yeah, that was shocking. And again, Saka, I mean, what happened with Arsenal? The amount of chances they had against Villa, how did they not score? Absolutely shocking there. So, he only got me 2 points overall. And then the strikers. So, let's talk about the one on the bench. So, obviously, I didn't start Oscar Bob. I started Ivan Toney. I brought Ivan Toney in. Can't remember how long ago now. Purely because the fixtures look good from now to the end of the season. And the fact is that he had Sheffield United at home in game week 33. I was so confident he was going to score a few goals there. I said it in my team selection video for 32. Or 33, sorry, should I say. He's going to be one of the big differentials this week. He's going to make or break me. He's going to always give me a green arrow or a red arrow. The guy didn't even get on the pitch. He didn't even get on the pitch. He didn't start and he didn't even come on. Honestly, I was so fuming with him. Absolutely fuming. As soon as I saw that, I activated my free hit chip, which I won't talk about in too much detail just yet. But I activated it and got rid of him straight away. But honestly, oh my God, he's been a waste of time for me this season. He does not deserve to be in the England squad come the Euros so far. He's got to really smash it from now to the end of the season. Because that, honestly, I don't care if the manager says he had a bit of a knock. He should be starting. Yeah, nothing from Toney. But hey, at least my other 2 strikers who started scored. So obviously my captain was Erling Haaland. He was my second transfer I brought in. I really wanted him in for this game week because I felt like he could have got a few goals. Obviously, he absolutely smashed him in the FA Cup, so I didn't want to take the risk and going without Erling Haaland. Obviously, Darwin Núñez, who went out, blanked, so that was a big plus for me. And the fact is, Haaland got 1 goal and an assist, and a cheeky bonus point to go with that. I'll definitely take that. So I got 20 points overall for Erling Haaland, so really happy with that. And Dominic Solanke also scored for me. I did say, look, Man United just love to, let you take a shot at their goal. To be fair, the keeper should have saved it. It was a bit, well, it was shocking, really. David De Gea would have saved that. Poor from Onana, but I'll take the goal from Solanke. Could have got more, really, but he got the goal and he got the bonus points, so 7 points overall. So, yeah. 66 points, 6 red arrows in a row. Not looking great, really. It's been an absolute shocking end of the season for me so far. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can turn things around sooner rather than later. Right then, to the main event. My team selection for game week 34, which of course I've already mentioned it several times. I have activated my free hit chip for game week 34. And starting us off then with the goalkeepers. So far, I've currently got Kelleher as my goalkeeper for game week 34. And my backup is Neto of Bournemouth. Neto, though, he's on the bench just purely based on the fact that he does have 2 away fixtures in game week 34. Aston Villa, not easy. Wolves, not easy. Now, another replacement I could go for instead of having him is, of course, Jordan Pickford. Around the same price. Obviously, the fact that they just lost 6-0 is a bit salted in wounds right now for them. So he's currently not in my team, but I could quite easily go for him. But the fact is, he does have Liverpool at home. Isn't exactly the best fixture in the world. But nevertheless, my starting goalkeeper will more than likely be Kelleher for game week 34. Obviously, Alisson could come back any moment in time, but I'm going to go for the gamble and I'm going to go for Kelleher. If Alisson is back, and particularly for the first game, which would be probably better, if anything, then obviously Kelleher won't play and I will have a double game week goalkeeper, nevertheless, in Neto starting for me. But I do prefer Kelleher just because he's got Fulham away and Everton away for me. Obviously, there are other options out there. Raya is an option to go for, but honestly, I prefer on-field plays for that. Could possibly go for Sarr, but look, they're just not keeping clean sheets. Not really worth it. And also, Dean Henderson is also an option as well. I'm just going to go for Kelleher just because he's the best option I feel to go for. Fulham away, Everton away. Yes, they're away, but I do think he can keep clean sheets in both those games. And like I've said before, Liverpool have to win these games if they want to win the league. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, Kelleher is my favourite option for this game week. With the defenders then, of course, I'm going to be starting a back three. There's no chance in hell I'm going for 4 or 5 at the back. That's just crazy. Because like I've said so many times before, clean sheets ain't happening this season. So you may as well get minimum amount of defenders as you can. So on the bench, I do actually have Dello, who's obviously not double game weeking, but he has Sheffield United at home. And I've got Ruben Diaz, who's got Brighton away from home. Either one of those could easily come into the team, but the fact that they don't have a double game week is the reason why they're both on the bench. And obviously, you know, they could keep clean sheets in the game. That's why I've picked them both. I could have gone for a double game week, but other players that I could have gone for, I'm not actually confident they can get a clean sheet, so they're both on the bench. So the starting three anyway. So I've got Gabriel. Now the reason why I've got Gabriel is ahead of his other compatriots is 1, Ben White and Saliba are more expensive, and 2, I don't have enough money in the bank. So I've got Gabriel, who's also a sound player to go for, obviously. He's somebody I personally already own. Wolves and Chelsea, they're not bad fixtures at all, but they're not easy fixtures either, to be fair. So that is why I didn't have Raya in goal as well. So yeah, Wolves is a tough fixture. Wolves could easily beat them. And Chelsea, you just know what Chelsea's turning up, to be fair. Especially when there's like a Cole Palmer in the team. So I'm not actually confident with it. But the fact that he's got 2 games for the double game week 34, I had to pick him ahead of both Dello and Ruben Diaz. Virgil van Dijk's my Liverpool defender. I've gone for him just purely based on the fact that I know he's going to be starting both of these games, Fulham and Everton. Whereas everybody else, whether it's Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Karate, Gomez, whoever it is at the back for Liverpool, I can't guarantee that they're playing both of these games. Whereas obviously Virgil van Dijk will 100% be starting both of these games. And yeah, I can see Liverpool keeping a clean sheet in both of these games, to be fair. It is a bit of a gamble, you know, it's double game week, obviously, for this game week for Liverpool. And I've got 2 Liverpool defenders rather than having 2 Liverpool attackers. So, yeah, Virgil's definitely in my team. And my final option I've gone for is Max Kilman. Now, look, Adrian Nori is a great option to go for, but I can't guarantee, 1, he'll play both games. And if he does, will he get subbed off early? That's his only issue. Kilman, captain of Wolves, starts every game. I felt more comfortable going for him. Obviously, his first game is hard. It's Arsenal at home. But his second game is Bournemouth at home. And obviously, both fixtures are going to be at home. So that is something to really look at. But yeah, I'm not actually confident he's going to get clean sheet in this game. I could possibly swap around and put Ruben Diaz as my starting defender. But the fact is Kilman's got 2 games is what's just edging it, which is frustrating because obviously Man City could get a clean sheet against Brighton, but Man City aren't keeping clean sheets, which is frustrating. So do I go for the gamble and do I go for Kilman ahead of Diaz, even though Diaz only has 1 game this game week? So it's a tough decision. Obviously, Gabriel and Van Dijk are 100% starters, but Kilman, I can't guarantee he will start because I'm not confident, just purely based on the fact that he's got Arsenal. Whereas obviously Diaz does have Brighton. So if Arsenal do smash him, you know, you never know. And obviously Bournemouth, Slanky's no slouch either. He can score as well. So it's a tough decision. But for now, I've got Kilman starting. But don't be surprised next week when I show you that I started either Dello or Ruben Diaz. Midfielders then. So I'm going for a 5-man midfield. Obviously, all 5 double game week players. No brainer right there. Mohamed Salah. Of course, he's going to be my captain. Fulham away, Everton away. Best fixtures, I think, for this game week. So, for sure, he's going to be my captain. Saka, also in my team. Obviously, no-brainer. Double game week, Wolves and Chelsea. Not the easiest, but I do think he can score in them. And like Liverpool, Arsenal have to win their games, so Saka's got to be scoring in these games. So I felt like that was a no-brainer as well. I've got Eze in my team. Double game week fixture for Eze. Just scored against Liverpool. Definitely 100% starter for Crystal Palace. And both of his double game week fixtures are at home. West Ham and Newcastle. West Ham love to concede goals. Newcastle have been known to concede goals. Obviously, they are coming back though of back-to-back clean sheets, which is a slight issue. But of course, Eze will be starting for me because, you know, he's a great player and he's definitely a differential player. Kai Havertz is in my team as well. This one might be a surprise to people, but look, he's been great this season. You know, under the radar at times, you know. Look, he didn't have a great performance against Aston Villa, of course, but, you know, Bournemouth he did great, Luton he did great. He's done well against the likes of Sheffield and Brentford, Newcastle. He's had a great end to the season, put it that way. Wolves and Chelsea aren't easy fixtures, but, you know, one thing I do know is he will start both of these games. He tends to play, you know, majority of the minutes as well. It's not like he gets subbed off early most of the time. You know, he does play a good 80 to 90 minutes. So, yeah, obviously Martinelli's in and out of team, so I couldn't go for him. Same as Trossard. You know, Odegaard's currently flagged up right now, so he was an option. But, you know, Havertz was cheaper. And he does tend to score goals as well, which is also something to note. You know, he's got 9 goals, 7 assists this season. So, yeah, definitely going to be gambling with Havertz in my team. And I've got Brereton Diaz in my team as well. Now, this one might be a surprise to people, you know, but I did say in my 3-team draft differential one, recommended him putting in your team. Look, Sheffield United are awful. Let's face it, they are bad, right? Now, since Brereton Diaz has come to Sheffield United, because he came in January, he's played 8 times. He's got 4 goals and an assist. So that's nearly a return. Well, it's more than one return every other game. So that is something to take in consideration. And his double game week isn't actually too bad. So yes, they're shocking, Sheffield United. But to have Burnley at home and Man United away is really nice, to be fair. I reckon he'll start both games. Burnley game's a massive game for Sheffield United. It's at Bramwell Lane. They've got to be going for it if they want to stay in the league. Diaz is probably their best option to score a goal as well. So that is something to look at. And then they've got Man United in their second game. Obviously, United are tough. But we keep saying, they just love to concede shots, concede goals. So you never know. Diaz, whether they win or not, doesn't matter. If he gets like a consolation goal, that could happen. Nobody's going to be looking at him as well. He's less than 1% owned. You know, and if he does get a haul of points, I'll be absolutely buzzing because you never know. My green arrow might finally return. So, for sure, Brereton Diaz will be starting for me. I really like the look of this midfield. I don't think there's anybody else I could possibly bring in any replacement. Obviously, Man United have got Sheffield United at home. So, Bruno Fernandes, who is in hot form, would be an option. But with his price, the only player I could replace him with, realistically, is Saka. And I don't want to get rid of Saka, who's got a double game week. And finally then, that brings me on to my strikers. So, most notably, I do have Erling Haaland in this double game week fixture. Of course, he's on my bench, which might be a surprise. You're probably thinking, what's the point of having 14 point, whatever it is, million sitting on your bench? And yeah, I do agree, to be fair. But I've got him in there just in case. You never know. Something bad could happen. You know, and I could have Erling Haaland as my first bench option, which would be a good option, I suppose. But, I mean, realistically, if I had the bench boost, that would be a lot more helpful. But I don't. But yeah, Erling Haaland's going to be sitting on my bench just because you never know what could happen. But my starting strikers, I'm really happy with. So, Solanke, although he does have 2 away fixtures to Aston Villa and Wolves, which, let's face it, are no easy games. You know, Solanke's been in unreal form this season. You know, he's been sensational, to be fair. You know, proving me wrong. 17 goals, 3 assists this season. You know, there's no reason to think why he can't score at least in one of these 2 games. So, for sure, he'll be starting in my team. And also, I've got Cunha up front. Somebody who I've been looking at bringing in my team. You know, I wanted him in earlier on in the season, but he got injured. Double game week fixture for him. Yes, Arsenal's tough and Bournemouth at home isn't easy, but both fixtures are at home. And he's been unreal this season, to be fair. Wolves have been amazing this season. You know, so I really do feel comfortable about having Cunha in my team for this double game week. So yes, it's a big decision having Haaland on the bench, but I feel like it is a good decision to go for these two strikers. Now, what other options could I have gone for up front? You know, look, Arsenal have a double game week, so maybe Jesus, but Jesus don't really score goals that often, to be fair. Crystal Palace, Mateta, I mean, maybe, but I would probably have just left him on the bench anyway. Everton can't score goals, so I wouldn't have them. Darwin Núñez, I mean, now that Diego Jota's back, what is Darwin Núñez minutes going to be? I don't know, so it's not really worth it in my personal opinion. And then Sheffield United don't have a striker to go for at all. So yeah, it just feels like Solanke and Cunha are the best two options. So that is how my team is going to be looking for double game week 34. That is my free hit team. Let me know what you think of this team. Let me know who you think I'm missing out. Let me know which decision you think is terrible. Let me know what you guys are doing as well for this double game week 34. Let me know what your team is for double game week 34. Please as well, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe as well, and I'll see you all on the next one.